What's up, everybody? And today we're checking out how the US found Saddam Hussein. This is going to be an interesting video. It's like 20 minutes long. It's by a channel called Neo, N-E-O. I have never seen this channel before. I will leave a link down below to the original video. I have no idea what this video is going to be like. I've been sent it a few times, said it's really, really good. I should check it out. I will leave a link down below. Please go over there, give it a like, give it a subscribe. All that good stuff. Make sure you go and give credit to them because I'm sure this will be a wonderful video. I've been sent it by my wonderful viewers. Before we get started, though, check out Chug. 10% off, link down below for the best drinking vessel in the world. Handmade here in the UK by a small business. Get free customization. Look at that. It's got my initials, LJ. This one's got the Morale logo. Sick, right? Insulated. Keep your beverage cold for a long time using sustainable wood. They're amazing. 10% off. I nearly said something else then. 10% off. Link down below. Also, check out my new business. This is my new business. This is not a sponsor. It's my new business. Morale. Check out Morale. Link down below. If you love the outdoors, like I do, if it's something that interests you, check it out. Let's see if you can do this. I'm going to put a QR code here. Let's see if it focuses. Focus. Let's see how many people can scan that QR code. Check out Morale if you haven't already. Other than that, let's shut up. Shut up, Luke. Shut up, Luke. Let's pull this up and let's see how they found this guy in a hole.
Imagine a small rural village in Iraq in the middle of the night in 2003.
Is that how long ago it was? 2003? Is that how long ago it was? It feels like yesterday, doesn't it? That's insane.
Man is hiding inside an underground hole, its entrance covered with styrofoam. And suddenly, the streetlights in the entire village go out, and hundreds of US soldiers begin sweeping through the town. As the troops reach the farmhouse, a soldier starts to unearth a rope, discovering that it leads to the hidden trapdoor. They open it and prepare to throw a grenade into the hole, just to be safe. But just before the pin is pulled, everyone freezes as a pair of hands emerge from the hole, followed by a bearded man.
Can you imagine being the person that found that? Who was that individual that found him? I bet there's a lot of people who claim to be the individual that found him. But being the actual individual that did it must be insane. Insane. You did something that changed the history books.
With his hands in the air, he declares to those around him, "My name is Saddam Hussein. I am the president of Iraq, and I want to negotiate."
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
We got him.
Whether you've heard the story of Saddam's hiding place because of the countless memes circulating online, or whether you lived through this time and think you remember it, I doubt you ever heard the full story. And so for this video, I will be exploring just that.
I honestly don't know the full story. 2003, wasn't it? I was in high school.
This is how Saddam Hussein was found.
Tell me.
The hunt for Saddam began with the invasion of Iraq in March of 2003.
My fellow citizens, at this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger.
The US had started a coalition to overthrow the Iraqi president, and the reason they presented to the world for doing so was that they claimed Saddam was hiding weapons of mass destruction.
There is no doubt that Saddam Hussein now has weapons of mass destruction.
A claim that would later turn out to be false.
Yeah, that whole situation's a bit iffy, innit? It's a bit iffy. I don't know the full context of it, but it's a bit iffy. Going invading that country, you know? I don't know about that. It's a bit weird.
You know, when we first got in there, started looking around and didn't find anything, you get that kind of sinking feeling that, uh-oh.
Yeah, uh-oh.
The invasion itself went fast, as the United States, along with troops from the UK, Australia, and Poland, fought their way to the capital city of Baghdad, which fell just 3 weeks after the initial invasion.
That's quick. That is so quick, isn't it? 3 weeks, a whole country toppled, done. Wow.
But still, the troops were not able to find the Iraqi president, Saddam Hussein.
To the very heart of Baghdad, US tanks and troops finally arrive, spelling the end for the Iraqi regime.
The next task, to hunt down the men who fought and defended this city for a fortnight.
And in the middle of a public square in the city, American forces join Iraqis near a massive statue dedicated to Saddam.
I remember this. I remember seeing this on the news and watching it fall. It was such a weird moment, wasn't it? There's so many things that I feel like I've seen growing up that really do go down in history. Like you see this on the news. Obviously, you see horrible things like 9/11 on the news. And at the time, you just think, oh my God, look at this news. And then when you look back, you think, wow, like that was legitimately like a turn in history. Like iconically crazy. And I'm wondering what we're seeing now on the TV that we'll look back on with the same light. Do you know what I mean?
Whose rule has come to an end. And to declare their victory, American soldiers place an American flag over the face of the statue. This was much to the dismay of the Iraqi citizens who had gathered with them, as raising an American flag seemed to represent the US controlling the Iraqi people.
Yeah, it's kind of
iffy.
iffy.
The image this created, the soldiers quickly replaced their flag with an Iraqi one.
Interesting
Then,
one.
The statue was toppled.
That makes sense. Like replace it with an Iraq flag. Like you can't put an American flag up there, mate. You're in Iraq. Yeah, I'm just gonna go put an American flag up there. Who was the guy that did that? Come on, mate. Come on, mate. Everyone's looking at it thinking, oh, I don't know if we should do that. Yeah.
But though his likeness was brought to the ground, the real Saddam was still at large.
I remember when they took... I wonder where that head is now. I wonder where that is. Someone's got it. It's somewhere. Probably in some rich person's home, innit?
Locating him and other high-ranking members of his regime became a top priority for the US military. And to keep track of the targeted former officials, a special deck of playing cards is created that features the 52 most wanted officials.
It's like... It's so corny, but at the same time, it's so iconic. There's even video games that have used that. Do you remember, wasn't it the game called Mercenaries? Do you remember that? I used to love that game so much. But it used playing cards in a way of showing who you've got to get. It's been in so many different video games and films and stuff like that. It's so iconic, isn't it?
This way, soldiers who regularly play games during breaks will be able to easily pick up high-value targets and recognize the faces of those on the hunt.
It's a smart idea.
Saddam Hussein remains priority number one,
yeah.
The ace of spades, along with his sons Uday and Qusay right below him.
Wow.
On the skies and on the ground, they have one order.
Can you still get that deck of cards? I wonder if you can still get it. I'd love to get one.
To find Saddam. The word is he never stays in one place for more than a few hours. Constantly on the move, probably by car.
What a life.
Several months pass after the fall of Baghdad, and many targets are found and apprehended. But none of them lead the US to where Saddam or his sons are hiding. To gather more information, a $15 million bounty was placed on each brother, and a $25 million bounty was put forth for Saddam.
Senator, is today's $25 million on the head of Saddam going to change anything?
With a reward of $25 million.
It's a lot of money. Whether the US would actually pay that out, though, is another question, isn't it? Let's be honest.
American troops are increasingly confident that they will soon have the ace in their pack.
And this incentive gives the American military the exact break they had been looking for, as 4 months after the start of the war, a man enters a military base in Mosul, claiming that he is sheltering Uday and Qusay in his home.
My boy just got 30 mil.
Unable to believe it.
Probably not, though. Probably got taxed.
Troops are dispatched the next day to the man's house, located in Mosul, the second largest city of Iraq. And to their surprise, Saddam's sons, Uday and Qusay, are actually inside the building, hiding in a mansion that is now being surrounded by US troops.
Wow.
And as the brothers are not willing to come quietly, gunfire breaks out. The US troops retreat and call in reinforcements. Not only do they get additional manpower, but also a missile strike is called on the house the brothers are hiding in,
Jeez.
destroying most of the house. And after the dust is cleared, soldiers are able to enter the house, but the brothers had already been killed.
Yeah, makes sense.
Everybody agrees that it would have been better if the brothers had been captured alive.
Does that dude still get his 30 mil for both of them though? Does he still get his money?
I would never consider this a failure. Our mission is to find, kill, or capture.
Even though it is perhaps unlikely his sons would have given any information to the Americans about where Saddam is hiding, with both of them gone, the road to finding him remains unclear. But what the raid on the safe house did is it triggered Saddam to release a sign of life himself, as an audio tape surfaces in his broadcast, on which Saddam can be heard mourning the loss of his two sons.
I don't wish that on anyone. I don't care who you are. To lose children is horrendous.
The existence of this tape confirms that Saddam is still alive. And the other thing this whole situation showed is that the bounty had resulted in someone coming forward and providing helpful information.
Secretary Powell today approved...
I wonder if that guy got his money if he still lives in the area, because some people might hate him. He probably would have had to relocate, and I wonder what that guy's doing now. I want to know that story.
payment of $30 million reward.
Wow.
To the individual who provided the critical piece of information.
Wow.
Therefore, the US decides to pay the full reward to the informant, $30 million US, in addition to being relocated to the United States.
Wow.
Is that once
so he moved to the US, which is a better quality life for him, and he got 30 mil. I wonder what he's doing. Where's he living now? Just chilling in the Colorado mountains.
Iraqi citizens see that the US is serious about their bounties,
Yeah.
it would encourage more people to step forward with information.
We're trying to look for Saddam Hussein. We have his two sons, and we already took care of them, but we need Saddam Hussein. We're urging the Iraqi people to help us out any way that they can.
There's no shortage of information, but with a $25 million reward on offer, much is unreliable.
But as the months roll by with many unsuccessful raids to capture Saddam, it begins to seem less and less likely that anyone will come forward.
3 civilians were shot during last night's raid, innocent victims of this frantic search.
The whole thing just seemed to be like horrendous from start to finish, and it didn't seem to end. It was just constant drama. People being killed, unfortunately. It was horrendous, wasn't it?
An elite secretive unit known as Task Force 20 is leading the hunt.
Why didn't they call it Task Force 141? Why are they always missing the mark on this? We hear so many different task forces, and they never use it. Maybe they don't because of the video game. They've got to call someone Task Force 141. They've got to do it at some point. At some point, it's got to happen.
No clear indication tonight that his capture is imminent.
The Americans are not about to apologize for all of this. A trail of destruction left in the wake of the special task force that's hunting down Saddam Hussein.
It's sad.
With many of the raids leading to absolutely nothing, the focus again shifts, and the US military puts their attention towards completing the deck by tracking down prior officials from Saddam's regime. Several high-ranking officials that worked directly under Saddam were captured, with the hope that they might be able to provide information. Surprisingly though, none of them can point to their former president's hiding place.
To be fair, none of them probably know where he is. Like, it could be a complete mystery to them. I'm wondering if he was just doing it by himself, just driving about on himself, or whether he was in that hole the whole time. The whole time. He was in the hole the whole time. Who knows?
And while the bulk of the military remained focused on hunting targets from the deck of cards, one staff sergeant, Eric Maddox, decides to go into a completely different direction. Maddox realizes that the targets they are focused on represent the old regime that had fallen from power. These are people that were given positions because they were related to Saddam, and so their power came from him. Right now, what Saddam needs is people with the power to protect him, and that can only come from one place: his bodyguards.
True.
While
So they
in
get
power,
added to the
Saddam
deck.
had a system of personal protection comprised of 3 different tiers. The outermost level of guards were assigned to fixed locations, such as his various palaces across the country.
Holy, look at that palace. It's crazy, isn't it?
Was a level of guards that would travel ahead of Saddam to secure locations in various areas. And finally, above these guards were the Hamaya, the innermost layer of elite guards, those who would stay with Saddam at all times. Maddox theorizes that these guards are likely the ones currently protecting Saddam, and in order to find them, he begins his work in Tikrit, Saddam's hometown. Tikrit had already been thoroughly searched, and it is largely believed that Saddam isn't hiding here. However, it is still a hotbed for another family group, the Al-Muslids, and most of Saddam's elite bodyguards came from exactly this family.
Whoa.
As Maddox begins...
Why do you get people from a family, though? Surely if you want good bodyguards, it's not so much who you're related to and what your capability is. You know, surely you would do some sort of like test to do it, not just pick people who you know. Listen, we know that's the basics of running a military. Just don't pick the people who you know. Pick the people who are good enough. You don't do that, do you?
His interrogations, he notices that one name keeps popping up, Muhammad Ibrahim Omar al-Muslid. And the more Maddox learns about Muhammad Ibrahim, the more convinced he feels that he is on the right track. Not only was Muhammad Ibrahim one of Saddam's most trusted inner circle bodyguards, but it seems like he is currently leading the entire resistance against the US occupation.
Holy.
He had installed several lieutenants in charge of certain areas of Iraq to coordinate attacks against coalition forces. And he is...
So this guy wasn't even in the deck of cards? Surely they should have known about this guy ages ago and gone after him first.
The one coordinating funds for counter-attacks.
Jeesh.
Loyalists here had taken off their uniforms and tried to fight the Marines with guerrilla tactics.
And if
not a good idea.
Ibrahim is really running operations in Saddam's stead, then he has to know where Saddam is hiding. And so, Muhammad Ibrahim becomes a prime target.
Does he get added to the deck of cards?
To him, Maddox interrogates a...
Listen, I want it to be like Pokemon cards, like collecting them all. Do you know what I mean? I just want to add him to the card. He's obviously not part of the deck because he's penciled in here. You know? Can you still buy these deck of cards? I'm going to Google it. Let me Google it. Can you still buy Saddam cards? They're on eBay. Most wanted cards on Amazon. Let me see. Is it there? Yes. Yes. You can get them. Oh my days. Sealed pack. Issued by the intelligence agency. 16 quid. I think that's a bargain, that, for a historical deck. Wouldn't you agree? And that's a bargain. Absolute bargain.
Nephew of Muhammad Ibrahim, who then reveals the names and locations of 2 close business associates, as well as the name of Muhammad's driver, Basim Latif. Basim, along with family members of these business associates, are interrogated.
Wow.
And the US is able to begin filling in the gaps of Muhammad's movement. So far that they even find out the location of Muhammad's son,
Jeesh.
who is interrogated next. Initially, it seems that Muslid isn't able to be of much help. He didn't have much involvement in the resistance, but what he did reveal is that he used to often go fishing with his father. And even though they don't go anymore, he knows that his father still fishes at a pond he owns in the city of Samarra.
Interesting. His son grassed him up. Mate.
A trivial piece of information, but Maddox fought back to an interrogation he had before with a prior housekeeper of Saddam. He remembers that the housekeeper had mentioned that Saddam loved musgoof, a type of fish that is popular in Iraq,
It's all coming together. I can just see him having one of them boards with the lines crossing. Do you know what I mean? Like the conspiracy board, that meme. That's exactly what it was like in these offices. He likes this fish. His mate goes fishing. There's a connection.
Suddenly, the trail seemed red hot, and Maddox was certain that Muhammad would be able to lead him to Saddam.
He's catching fish for him. That's what he's doing.
To find out more, U.S. forces raid the fish farm Muhammad was known to use. 2 fishermen were located, but neither of them were Muhammad. And when these fishermen are questioned, Maddox finds out that one of them was a cousin to a lieutenant in the resistance.
Wow.
The fisherman also mentions an uncle they shared who had a house in Baghdad. Perhaps Muhammad could be hiding there.
Interesting.
If so, he would be hiding in plain sight.
They were literally trying everything, wasn't there? They literally followed every single lead they possibly could.
In the Iraqi capital of Baghdad that had been under the control of the US-led coalition for months. But with no better lead to follow, the decision is made to raid the house in Baghdad. When you think about it, what led them here is a series of rather weak links.
Yeah, they are weak. They are literally following any trail possible, aren't they? If this must lead to him being captured, which is insane, isn't it?
As US troops are about to raid an apartment of an uncle of a fisherman from a place where the son of the suspect remembers fishing.
Yeah, that's insane.
And so, it comes as a surprise to the special forces when inside the apartment they find their suspect.
Wow.
Muhammad Ibrahim Omar al-Muslid is captured.
Wow. That's
Still,
crazy.
There was no guarantee that Muhammad would be willing to talk. Maddox himself questions him, and he offers him protection for himself and his family. And with that assurance, Muhammad begins to talk.
Wow, so yeah, he grasped. He said, listen, if you tell me where he's hiding, you and your family can be protected. I wonder if they got like relocated or anything like that. It just shows a lot of people fold very quickly if you say that you're going to threaten their family. And it makes complete sense, doesn't it? It's like the oldest trick in the book that's probably been used for thousands of years.
Reveals that Saddam is hiding in the small farming village of Ad-Dar, bringing us back to the scene from the very beginning of this video.
Wow.
As the US troops search the town, Muhammad Ibrahim is there with them as a prisoner. Based on his information, they search 2 unassuming farmhouses just east of the Tigris River. But when
them tiny ass farmhouses, that's it. Just them.
Them are searched, their target is still nowhere inside. Beginning to think this raid is just a dead end, the troops are about to give up. But then, Muhammad Ibrahim points out another building just to the north of the second farmhouse.
Wow.
The building is little more than a shack with 2 rooms, and no one is inside here either. It seems as though Muhammad Ibrahim has a good idea of where Saddam is, but the soldiers are not catching on. And there must have been some final mental block that prevents Muhammad Ibrahim from straight up telling them. He is willing to help, but he also doesn't want to be the one giving Saddam away directly.
Yeah.
And so, Muhammad Ibrahim begins kicking at a piece of rope half buried in the ground outside the hut.
Holy shit.
Now, the soldiers understand. They find the trap.
Can you imagine being a boot on the ground soldier in that moment? It just blows my mind. Seeing him kick the rope and you and your oppo next to you being like, oh shit. That, like, pull that, it's the rope. Like, if you pull that rope, it's going to open a door. And we've got him. Imagine being the one on the radio. Boss, we've got him. We've got Saddam Hussein. Wow.
Door and Saddam.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
United States military forces captured Saddam Hussein alive. In the history of Iraq, a dark and painful era is over. A hopeful day has arrived.
Phew. That's crazy.
Even though Saddam Hussein was captured, it didn't end the Iraq War.
Nope.
Coalition forces had no exit strategy once Saddam's reign had ended, and instability continued for years as the country struggled to rebuild what the invasion had destroyed. The image of Saddam hiding, though, became one of the most iconic ones in modern history, ingrained not just in the timeline of global events, but also in pop culture. It even became somewhat of a meme, with people finding Saddam hiding in all kinds of random places. Wikipedia even struggled with vandalism, as Saddam kept hiding in all kinds of random graphs. But this is where it is important to remember that this moment didn't become iconic by itself.
No.
After Saddam was captured in this hole, the US military...
That's the hole? Sheesh. My guy. This small, isn't it?
invited lots of journalists to tour his hiding place, ensuring the world saw where Saddam had been cowering.
Today, I had the chance to clamber into the tyrant's last hiding place.
It's a miserable hiding place, particularly for a man who built some of the most ostentatious palaces in the Middle East.
Yeah, seriously, like going from them palaces to a hole in the ground. Wow. And then he was hung, wasn't he? He was executed by the US. History is insane, isn't it? I love learning about history. I just think it's fascinating.
Photos of his arrest, showing him frail and utterly defeated. They also conducted a medical examination of Saddam, where a doctor checked his teeth, as though his dental hygiene was a concern after his capture. But this video also was released publicly. And really, this story isn't just about finding Saddam. It is also a tale of the power of different narratives. On the US side, there's the narrative that there were weapons of mass destruction,
and there wasn't.
Later proven to be false.
So was the whole thing unnecessary? I don't know enough about the situation. Was it unnecessary? Could it have led to the idea of having weapons of mass destruction? You're also kind of seeing a mirror image of this and Iran right now, where there's a potential that they have nuclear weapons, or at least they might be making them. And the US is like, don't do it. It just seems like history repeating, doesn't it?
Both the US and Saddam understood that images can carry immense power.
Yeah.
Saddam had spent decades fostering a cult of personality, saturating the country with his image, using state-controlled media to build a larger-than-life persona, while brutally oppressing any form of opposition.
Yeah.
And the US military felt a need to erode that myth. With the support for the war quickly waning, both in the US and globally, an easy solution was to make Saddam the face of the war.
Yeah.
Saddam was undeniably one of the most brutal leaders of the modern era, and the image he projected was built on propaganda.
Wow.
But the carefully staged presentation of his downfall, the fact that this very image became so well known, was no less a form of such.
That whole story is bizarre. Again, like I said, I don't know enough about the situation prior to it, but the fact that they didn't find weapons of mass destruction is very telling. But at the same time, I don't know what the government was like before America kicked off in there. Like it just said there that he was absolutely horrific. And I don't know much about it. I'd love to know more. Which reminds me, if you've got sources for that stuff, whether that be YouTube videos, documentaries, books, movies, TV shows, podcasts, let me know in the comments because I love learning about history.
Telling stories like this is at the core of what I try to do with this channel. Revisiting events that shaped our world and recreating how exactly they played out.
Yeah, shout out to this channel. Like, this legit was edited so well. Like, so well.
And it is precisely what I did for my next video, focusing on the Deepwater Horizon catastrophe.
Wait, the what?
April 20th. An explosion ripped through BP Deepwater Horizon.
Oh, I do know about this.
Offshore, the rig is still burning out of control. It's the worst oil spill.
Well, this is for its next video. I'll leave a link down below if you want to watch the next video. Neo, N-E-O. I will leave a link down below to the original channel and this original video. Go check it out because that was phenomenal. Absolutely fantastic. So go check that out if you haven't already. Really enjoyed that. And I want to know more. Like I said, I want to know more. If you've got recommendations for books, movies, TV shows, podcasts, YouTube videos, let me know in the comments because I'd love to learn more about this situation so that I can be a bit more knowledgeable when watching videos like this. Also, check out Chug, 10% off, link down below for the best drinking vessel in the world. And please check out my other business, Morale, which is, it means the world to me, that thing. So please check that out. Other than that, that's it. That's it. I'll see you in the next video. I love you all. Have a wonderful... Oh, wait. Ready or not, the video game's coming to PS5. I might get it. I might play it on PC this week. Who knows? I live stream every Tuesday, Thursday, although I won't be live streaming this Thursday because I'm on dad duty. But next week I will be. Other than that, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.